Reyna Roberts is getting used to being understood, so it's no surprise that she's already secretly wondering if the title of her debut album might rub some people the wrong way. I want to make sure people know that even though it's called Bad Girl Bible, Volume 1, I Do Love God, Roberts stresses during an interview with People. This is my art, dedicated to him, because without him, I wouldn't have the songs. I wouldn't have the talent. I wouldn't have anything. It's yet another example of the many dichotomies that make up the raven-haired vixen with the bad girl vibes who has only had one serious boyfriend, who still doesn't have her driver's license and who just might have one of the sweetest hearts in country music. I feel like I've been able to capture all the elements of me, but also make sure that the country element is still there, says Roberts of Bad Girl Bible, Volume 1. You have hip-hop, you have pop, and then you have traces of rock in it, but it doesn't feel disjointed all over the place. At least I try my best to make sure of that. Certainly, it's an album that has gone through its share of creative twists and turns, with Roberts, 26, being challenged to discover for herself the true viewpoint in which this album was meant to come from. I wanted to create this fictional timeline of this character changing over time, explains Roberts, who has spent the last couple of years sharing the stage with artists such as Reba McEntire, Jamie Johnson, and Luke Combs. But by the end of the album, it wasn't just a character anymore. It was actually me in my life. I stepped into it. And all those stories became real. One of those so very real moments come through on Death of Me, a stunner of a song that Roberts wrote with songwriter A.J. Pruis and Liz Rose. Literally, we went to her beach house in Florida, reflects Roberts of collaborating with Rose. I had never even been to Florida before. Roberts shows another side of her personality on the intriguing track Miranda. I feel like that song and that character encapsulates all the things that I want people to see me as too, this badass, this outlaw, this person who's fearless, says Roberts of the song she wrote with Kendall Brower and David Meskin earlier this year that ended up being inspired by a certain Miss Miranda Lambert. I know in country music, there are certain lines that we have to be aware of. With Miranda, I'm able to express this badass outlaw side of me. And then there is her haunting new single, One Way Street. I wrote that about 2 years ago, explains Roberts of the song she penned alongside Natalie Stovall and Aaron Wagner and ended up recording at the General Sound Studio. I had the biggest crush on one of my closest friends. The feelings weren't reciprocated though. He just wanted to be a good friend of mine. The song became a really cool way to explain this feeling of being stuck and going down this path where it's not the right path, but you're still going down this path in the hopes of it being the ending you want it to be. And her ending? What does Roberts want that to look like? My goal is to have that kind of love where I'm married for 30 years, she chuckles. I think that's precious, and that's what I want. I've always been really shy though.